Hi, I'm Kevin,
And I'm Amanda.
and we are serving up
All that jam.
All That Jam, Quick Hit. Catching up with Natalie Brooke.
We're joined by Natalie Brooke. Today we spoke to Natalie almost a year ago. It was the 31st of last January that we spoke, and you had a huge 2023.
Yeah.
Why don't we jump in? I saw on Facebook you have something coming up on the 5th of February.
The 10th of February.
10th.
Yeah, so we're Natalie Brooke is going to be playing the Psycho Killers after party. They're playing at Union Craft Brewery, I believe. But we'll be playing the after party at True Chesapeake Oyster Co. It's also a benefit show for Jam for Jodi, which is a really really cool cause, that we're trying to spread the word on.
Right. Now what is Jam for Jodi?
So Brick Lore, who runs the Ramble Festival, he has a really good friend, Jodi. I think her last name is Macman, and she's searching for a living kidney donor. So we're using the event to kind of like jumpstart getting the word out just about Jam for Jodi in general, and then also raise some money for it as well.
All right, and how is this set up? This is good. This isn't going to be your normal band or Infinity Tribe. This is something different.
So, oh god, I just hit myself in the face with my microphone. So, it is going to be in my normal band, the Natalie Brooke band that I just go by Natalie Brooke on. But just because it's an after party, we're definitely going to try to bring in as many people as we can to kind of come and jam and just make it really exciting and different and unique.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we're going to separate it into two things. What was Natalie Brooke, that band, last year? What was your year like with them?
We played a lot. That band plays more than Infinity Tribe, so we got around a good bit, Virginia, Pennsylvania. I can't ever remember like all the places we play, but it was pretty much just like regional. We usually go like 3 hours in every direction. We hit a lot of festivals, so that was fun. And we really just like built our live show out more and more. I mean, both bands are fun to play in, but I don't know. Natalie Brooke is just kind of about like bringing the party. So we got to
Right.
like hit a lot of like 10 p.m., like 12 a.m. sets at festivals, which was awesome. So
Nice. The set list your song pool has been growing with that project.
yeah, for sure, especially the last couple months because we played like we really slowed down at the end of last year, like one show in October, one in November, and then it was time to go into the studio for an album. And so with that, we've gotten three new songs, and I've definitely been on a writing kick lately, so I'm trying to add even more. We were playing a lot of since we were getting around to a lot of different places last year, we were able to kind of like always play our good stuff, and so I don't want to say we played a lot of the same things, but it was like there was definitely that standard like 10, that we always hit or whatever. So that's going to expand a lot even more this year. I'm so excited.
Right. Now, do you approach a festival set list differently than you do a show in a club?
Oh, totally. And if like it's an opening slot at a club or a headlining slot at a club, and then also depending on the festival, I think I might take these things or might uh approach them like with more detail than some people, because I feel like every gig needs something like completely different, a different opener, a different flow throughout, a different closer. So yeah, they're all different, especially like late night at a festival. It's just like come out with a banger and keep it at like 100, give people chances to breathe. But like that's what I really like to do, honestly, is just kind of like keep everybody moving. But then like a club set, kind of more ups and downs in terms of like energy and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you said you've been in the studio. Can we get into a little bit about how you work that with that project with Natalie Brooke? I want to
Yeah.
call it band, but I guess you just call it Natalie Brooke.
I know. I mean, we definitely can refer to it as that. It gets billed as Natalie Brooke, but it is so much easier to just say Natalie Brooke Band. So I feel you. I
But
I find myself saying it.
so how do you approach going into the studio there? Do you have the songs all written out, or do you just take in sketches and say, guys, where are we going?
Yeah, a little bit of both. Mostly the going in with it written out. Um, so what I do is I write, I'd say 75% of the song on my own. I get all the way through it, beginning to end, like lyrics, the sections, verses, choruses, whatever. And I make demos, with like Logic drums, and I might play a little bass on it or whatever. But that last 25% that we go into rehearsal for a couple weeks before the studio is so crucial because the things that everybody else can add, Sam on drums, Oliver on guitar, Jacob on bass, with just the instincts that they have with their instrument is so absolutely crucial. And the songs would just not sound as good without their additions. So we pretty much, yeah, we go in super prepared, but then also definitely open to things changing, and then also ready to like add lots of layers, which is fun because what we did, and I kind of feel like this is how I usually do things in the studio. You like lay down the four instruments. I like to live track because I just really want to get that energy. And then it's time to get creative, which is really cool. It's like double guitars, throw in a slide here, like a slide guitar part, whatever, synth here, organ there, whatever. So, yeah, we go in like pretty prepared, but then knowing that we want to like also have room to be creative.
All right, which studio are you working in? Are you working from your home studio?
No, we've been going to Mystery Ton Studios with Kenny Eaton, which is in Iamsville, which people probably don't know what that is, but it's in between Frederick and Baltimore. And I have just been absolutely loving working with Kenny, and he's about to do like a giant renovation for his studio. It's currently in the basement of like a rancher home, but he's like demolishing the entire top floor and completely redoing it. So I'm really excited to see that. But the main thing for me with going to Mystery Ton Studios is just working with Kenny because he and I are kind of the same. As an engineer, he's just really good at like keeping things rolling. He has like a really good musical ear. So I like to ask him like, "Hey man, what do you think? Does this sound good? Or like, should I stop doing that or whatever?" So yeah, I love going to Mystery Ton.
Very nice. And are
Yeah.
we is this going to be released independently, or do you have somebody you're working with?
Nope, it's all me. I've been releasing. I haven't even like approached the topic of a label, if like that's what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. So I've just been doing it myself. And as time goes on, I kind of gather more people to help with I don't know, just like tying up the loose ends of albums and stuff, which has been really helpful. Um, but yeah, so we're trying to get this out really fast. Like I'm talking like we're aiming for end of February. um, yeah, so but I'm so excited. I am so excited. It's 5 songs. But with like most things I do, it's got this like really, really fun arc throughout. I always like to make things like an experience beginning to end. So
Right, lyrically, you're talking about there's a lyrical arc through it.
yeah, I mean actually like both like musically and um I mean I would say like the lyrics they don't really have to do with each other like song to song, but basically, I guess without like giving too much away, I don't even know if that matters. Um, the first two songs are kind of like piano poppy, little like Billy Joel, Elton John. I've listened to more Billy Joel than like anything the last year, and then there's kind of like a transition track in the middle, which is this crazy kind of like noise track that Oliver, the guitar player, and I made in the studio. And then the second half gets a little darker. I like start using a lot of whirly and distortion and like a lot more synthesizer. So it's just got that. I don't know. I'm curious to see how people kind of experience it.
Right.
It goes from like light to dark, honestly.
There you go. What do you have a name for the
I
album?
do not. That's what I'm saying. I'm kind of uh using some friends like Brick has been helping me with a lot of brainstorming. So he and I have been talking about album art and then also the name. So the name for me is so hard cuz I'm just thinking this is going to be the first thing people see before they dig into the album. So it's got to describe it and also be kind of intriguing. It's really hard to put it all into just one phrase. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but
The word Monday is popular these days.
what word?
Monday.
Like
Fish announced their
Monday?
Monde.
Oh, what is that?
Fish announced their festival, and it's called Monday Green. Monday is, I don't know the
Interesting.
thing I thought of was Cafe du Monde down in New
Huh.
Orleans is spelled the same. So I don't.
Okay. I have no clue. I need to get into fish. I almost like I shouldn't even open up this can of worms. I know that I love fish. I just haven't spent a lot of time with their music. But everything that I've heard and the times that I've kind of like, there's been a set on in the background, I'm like, damn, they rock.
Oh,
Obviously, it's fish.
the festival in August. Well, I guess it's probably like 2 hours from you. I'd say it's an hour and a half from me. You should sneak the band in. Do a
Okay.
late
Yeah.
night set on the parking lot.
Yeah, we're buds. I'll just tell them to put me on the after party or whatever.
There you go. So do you feel that there's an arc or a progression with all your songwriting from what you've done earlier to what's now?
Yes. And I have been reflecting on this. I can't even say that I've been, working on my songwriting, or I mean I have technically, but I can't say that there's any specific era or time, where I was like I don't know. I think just as I've gotten older and I've just dug in more to what I'm doing on every front, whether it was like when I started Infinity Tribe, I was digging into that music, and as I'm going into the studio more with Natalie Brooke, I'm thinking more about the songs and how I want them to, how I want, I don't know, how I want them to be heard, what the experience I want it to be. And yeah, I guess I have to say that also listening to a lot of Billy Joel this year, like an excessive amount, and also just playing along with them, learning his words, I think it has had a profound effect on me. And I'm not even sure if people would say that like some of these songs sound like that, but the influence is definitely there, I think. Um, so yeah, I don't know if that answers the
Interesting.
question.
Billy Joel, that's interesting.
I know. I mean, I love him because he's such a sick piano player as
Mhm.
well as a writer. So it's like playing his stuff can be really challenging. He has some really challenging stuff like Prelude to an Angry Young Man and parts of scenes from an Italian restaurant. I mean, it's just so exciting. It's almost like I think as rock and roll as it gets for a grand piano. It's just so cool.
And fantastic songwriter. He straddled the
Yeah.
line between being cool and being a pop 40 guy.
Yes, that's what I'm saying because he didn't completely go in one certain direction that maybe his I don't know, his label maybe would have wanted him to go. I really feel like this guy was like, I'm writing the songs the way I freaking want to, and they go in all these different directions, and some of them are pretty out of the ordinary, and some of them obviously like Piano Man is like so loved, and it's so like everybody knows it, and then there's like so many sick deep cuts.
Right. You throw on Piano Man, you do get the whole bar singing along.
Yeah, and I have experienced that. I did like it was a Christmas time last year. Me and Jacob, my boyfriend, he plays bass. He also goes by Nestor, and then Sam, the drummer in my band. We played at Cafe Nola in Frederick, which we do a couple times a year. It's a really small place, but we always just like to do something interesting and different. And I put together a set of like Billy Joel, Elton John, and David Bowie and stuff like that. And when we played Piano Man, the place just everybody was swaying and singing the words, and it was just like that drunken, like Irish beer sloshing around kind of vibe. It was just amazing. I was like, yeah, I mean, that's what this song does.
If you are enjoying All That Jam, please like and subscribe to our social media channels at All That Jam Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, or visit our website, allthatjampod.com. Make sure to sign up for our email list and tune in every week for new episodes.
Also, look for full interviews on our YouTube channel. And remember, stay beautiful, but don't stay underground too long.